Om Shanti, and a very good morning to all. Today we are going to read the Murli dated 27th November 1989. The title of the Murli is Significance of Pure Feelings, Pure Desires, and Subtle Service. So it is a 2-day Murli. We'll be reading it today and tomorrow. In today's Murli, Baba is mainly giving directions for subtle service. He is emphasizing more on the power of silence, as he says that the subtle service can give you success only when you have the power of silence, when you have the power of peace. So looking at the current times and the circumstances, the Murli gives us a mirror to check the levels of our stocks, of pure feelings, of pure desires, and how much and to what extent is my subtle service giving me the results. Right? So it's a mirror. And the Murli is like a mirror. So let's read the Murli together. Today, Bap Dada, the world benefactor, is seeing his companions, the children, who are all instruments in the task of world benefit. Everyone has thoughts of benefit for and love for the distressed souls of the world. The Bhagat souls also have these feelings of love, but for a temporary period. You have love for all time for souls, feelings based on knowledge and for the benefit of everyone. We do have this, right? Each of us, when we uh, become Baba's children, the most prominent aspect and the most uh, valued subject becomes seva. So everybody has this feeling, but then over certain time and throughout the day, this gets merged that I even have to give and I am an instrument. Because what comes on the surface, man ya chit pe zyada kya chalta hai? That I am to gain. No doubt, Baba is giving me first and then only I have to give others. But this should also be there, right? That every time I am an instrument, no matter whatever I am doing. The Baba says, the fruit of your feelings of love is the transformation of the souls of the love. The fruit of your feelings of love is nothing but the transformation of souls of the love. So as you go further, matter will also be transformed. Your pure feelings are powerful. They enable souls to receive instant fruit. Any souls who come into relationship and connection with you will experience peace and love at that moment. You have a desire of mercy for each soul so that they claim the right to the inheritance and are not deprived of a godly family. So these few lines here, that your pure feelings are so powerful that you are not only having this thought of transformation for the other soul, but then this will also fill in the other soul with some power. It will give power, right? And first point this, and the next, any souls who come into relationship and connection with you shall also experience peace and love, right? So if it is only up to me that, I am only benefiting from this, whatever yoga I'm doing, uh, whatever I'm practicing for myself, if I'm keeping it limited only to myself, That means here there's some correction that I need to take. Right? Because Baba says that if you are deeply practicing things and if you have pure feelings, then this will automatically reach out to the other souls. No matter you are going to express it or not. But the moment they come into connection with you, they will experience that peace and love. Right? Further, Baba says, pure feelings can enable a soul to experience truth even while far away. The power of silence, the power of pure feelings reaches from afar. The basis of this is the accumulation of the power of peace within you. Looking at the current times, it will be very difficult for us to deliver or do seva through speech or, any sort of karmana also. But this, the subtle service which Baba is talking about of pure feelings, pure vibrations, this is going to reach. This is going to reach them very quickly, no matter how far away the soul is. Right? But Baba says the basis for this is the power of silence. The power of silence. I don't know how this Murli uh, just came, and because I guess Raki sister knows that during these times of Navratri, I had this mon throughout 7, 8 days, and reading this Murli after that, it makes me so this thing inside that oh yes, done like something 0.1% also something that Baba is saying is done. See, not only practicing silence like multiple days, or even if we have few hours of the day, forget about 4 3 hours, even if we take this very strongly today, that every day I'm going to at least take out 1 hour and I am going to keep that bond for myself, that space for myself. And silence, uh, I mean, I can say through a very personal experience, silence will give you all the answers that you need. You don't have to go, we don't have to meet others to discuss the issues or seek answers from somebody. No. Silence is that one particular thing which is very easy, makes us very easy to connect to Baba. बहुत ज्यादा मेहनत करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती, because Baba is silent, right? And he doesn't even comes down. अभी तो अव्यक्त पाठ भी नहीं है, right? If there's this one thing in the current times that can actually connect with Baba very quick, that's silence. मन मुख का भी मौन और मन का भी मौन. So it will be like a very personal suggestion to everybody that at least 1 or 2 hours of the day, mon compulsory needs to be there in the schedule, no matter how much busy all of us are. So Baba says, pure feelings produce powerful thoughts. The speed of thought is faster than all other powers. This subtle service of new souls gives practical experiences and takes less time, facilities, and money. To do this, the mind and the intellect have to be free constantly. When you keep your mind and intellect busy with small matters, the subtle line of speedy service does not remain clear. See, here Baba is not talking about not taking up our daily tasks. I used to do, like during that time of silence, I still used to work Uh, I used to join office, I used to work, I used to do the household stuff that I am assigned. Okay. And in that also, Baba is going to give you very little thoughts to experiment on that. Like I remember very clearly, uh, I did not inform anybody in my office that I'll be maintaining this silence and I'll not be talking. Of course, messages like on Teams or anything was going on, but then verbally I was not communicating. So this was a wonderful experience for me that during that time, no meeting was scheduled. Nobody even texted it saying that we need to call. There is something important that we need to discuss. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. And without me informing others. This was something that Baba cared about. That okay, हमको करना है silence. I'm going to help you out. Okay. Then talking about other stuff also, like I was just making the other day. I was making something. Like I was in the kitchen. I was preparing some rice or something. So I just had this one thought that Baba, whoever eats this, shall wake up tomorrow on time. And to my surprise, people in the family who are not Indian, who don't follow this, of course, the others who follow woke up. They woke up early. But the people, those who don't, the souls, those who don't, they also woke up on time saying that, "कि अरे हम भी जल्दी उठ गए." We also woke up at Amrit. And these were little things. So I was just wondering, what is this silence creating inside? If these little thoughts can just show you the practical experiences like this, what wonders will silence do? The Baba says, why did I say this? Like when Baba says you need to keep your mind and intellect uh, free, that means it's not that we are not engaging ourselves into the daily stuff that we do, but then it's about little matters, the worth that we carry on. That needs to be cleared up. The Baba says, so pay attention to solitude and stability. No matter how busy a soul who loves solitude is, he will find one or two moments in between to experience solitude. Because a soul who loves solitude becomes so powerful, he can concentrate the subtle powers of the mind and intellect whenever and wherever he chooses. Even in external circumstances of upheaval, he can go within a second into the depths of one, into the depths of one. And during those times when there is upheaval. So if we now have this practice of maintaining silence, at least some time of the day, then whenever, like, when this will become a habit, whenever there will be like circumstances of upheaval, I don't think that it will take a lot of time for us to maintain that stability. Right? So there is a great deal of noise and upheaval superficially with the waves of the ocean, but there is no upheaval in the depths of the ocean. So when you go into the depths of one, into the depths of the ocean of knowledge, the upheavals finish and you become stable. So, by recognizing the importance of pure desires and pure feelings, and by becoming the embodiment of it, you give many souls an instant experience. These are like the Vardani Mahavakya. By recognizing, if you know the importance of pure desire and pure feelings, if I have this within me that I have to really give, then that will become instant. That will become an instant experience for the other souls. And Forget about giving it out, but this will give a lot of peace inside. Why? Because I have only pure feelings. I have only pure desires. And that is what Baba likes, Spirit. He likes purity. He likes cleanliness. Silence brings a lot of cleanliness to the mind, a lot of clarity to the mind. Silence is also the best healer. Whatever wounds the soul has, while we work throughout the day, while we do a lot of seva, the wounds get hidden, छुप जाते हैं. The healing नहीं होती, but it is there inside. ऐसा नहीं होता है कि वो बात हम भूल गए या वो बात मन और चित्त से निकल गई. No, it is still there. It's just that we didn't take care of it properly, and it is going to come out sometime. The Baba says this is subtle service. This should take place alongside your service through words. The practice of subtle service should carry on for a long period of time. That is, it should start from now, or later you will not be able to maintain the balance between remembrance and service. See? It has to be now. Then Baba is meeting the Kumaris. Bap Dada is amused on seeing the Kumaris because they are prepared to give up the burden of a job, yet do not have the courage to do service in God's house at the center. To do a job means to sustain the self, keep the aim of giving Baba's sustenance to the souls of the world. To claim blessings from man is a huge income. You have a golden chance to be an instrument of the unlimited only in this world. So be a worthy right hand. If you do not become a worthy server, you are taking service. It is because you do not become a worthy server that you are afraid. One who is worthy is a carefree emperor. So become worthy and nothing can stop you. To be worthy, remember, mine is one Baba and none other. Then next Baba's meeting the Kumars. We can take up some part of it today and then half of it. The Kumars run very fast and are great destroyers of obstacles. The people of the world consider it difficult for Kumars to be yogis. But you have to challenge them and say, we are free from obstacles and worthy of respect. The obstacle that Kumars have is in thinking, I want company, a companion. A Kumar who remains constantly in Baba's company can remain constantly happy. The company is the whole family. Is it wrong to keep the company of one or two? Sorry, it is wrong to keep the company of one or two. A Kumari stays in the company of service, but the Kumars have desire for company. So Bap Dada has pride in the Kumars. They are moving forward with efforts. Even though they are alone, 2 or 3 Kumars can live together and give cooperation to one another when there is a need. Be free from obstacles and do not be a problem at the center. Be one who removes problems. And see how Baba talks to the Kumars. Be the one who removes all the problems. Even if we are not at the center, we can still be like world servers, right? Because even if my little actions, I am doing a had karya. Okay, let's suppose say I'm doing cooking just for the family, or maybe I am just working for my own self. But if I have this thought of behad, that everyone today should at least have something to eat, आज कोई भी भूखा ना सोए. संकल्प कैसा है? बेहद का है. Right? This is the behad sankalp. So even if I'm working for my own self, whatever the circumstances may be, I earn. Some people have responsibilities of the family. Although Baba says that whatever you have to be at the center and you do, but whatever the circumstances are in front of me, I can still convert my seva into that behad. Right? That is not a barrier for anybody. Sankalp to हमारे पास ही है ना. I can do anything that I want. Right? So we will just stop here for today because then tomorrow we will read the two groups. Right? So, to the great souls who understand the significance of pure feelings, pure desires, and subtle service, Bhagavada's love, remembrance, and namaste. From us children to our beloved Bhagavada, love-filled remembrance and namaste. We will take a minute in silence and then shall share the points from the meditation. Om Shanti. We can unmute and share points from the meditation.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Divine Family. Today, Baba's clear intellect, your pure thoughts and pure feelings is come by clear intellect. And we have a clear intellect, not in small matters we stuck up, so we can give a better service and with companionship with Baba. Yeah, Om Shanti. Thank you, Baba.
Om Shanti. Having pure
Om
feelings
Shanti.
is also a form of service, and pure feelings are powerful and travel faster. They have a greater speed. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. So Baba highlights the power of having that silence and observing silence, and then how well the silence power can be used to do the service. So it's very important to observe that silence. So somebody who loves silence or solitude, they will definitely find time 1 or 2 minutes to observe that and experience that solitude, where they go deep into Baba's love and experience that power. And Baba says they will be able to concentrate even in a chaotic situation or in a very upheaval situation. So Baba gave the example of um, the 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 waves in the ocean, right? So it is constant. The surface is always upheaval, right? But when we go deep into it, right, the depth of ocean is always powerful and also very stable, right? So similarly, the more the more we can stabilize, that stability comes when we observe the silence. So when we are able to get there, then we can do that service. Having pure thoughts, our thought will reach the destination. It will do the work. So the practice of silence is very important. So Baba highlight that. Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Anybody else? Anyone would like to share any of your experiences, any of your experiments with silence?
Om Shanti. Yeah, I hope you can hear me.
Yes, yes, yes.
I was just thinking, with the Murli which you read, it was like a capsule Murli, just something very short and so deep, so deep. So I think there is something else you have to go within it to find out, is Baba hiding something or is there something else to follow? I was just trying to go, no, it was just like Baba just made it as a capsule. And he has always got a nice way of starting. He gave me the title. He said, "You are the world benefactor." And especially at this time, I like this. Like yesterday, I was just sharing in the club, in the class, that this is the time really we need to have world benefactor when we see the world suffering. Unknown people, people who are not part of this process, people who are not part of this schemes and themes and policies of leaders, the children who are suffering, they need something. They need such kind of, what we say, a world benefactor to come and take them. I used to just say, this is the time it's needed. For that, what do we need? Baba has first given us. So, for you to hear the call of those people, you have to first shut up your chattering mind, your space with people where it is needed, you should fit in. So there are two words over here which Baba has mentioned very casually, he has mentioned silence and solitude. If you see, both are related, but both are not the same. Silence just means there's no noise, there's no sound. And sometimes, if you are like that, they say you get a eerie feeling. You will feel your heart thumping, your blood is rising, some kind of demons and thoughts come in your mind. I'm talking about silence, which is not real silence, silence which is not connected with any good feelings and all. But that silence is important because unless you're silent, you cannot reflect at all. But solitude is different. It's just withdrawing myself from others. Forcibly, I want to be alone to find the self discovery. See, you gave an example like you were doing work in the office, but then you could just even still go into the depth of something you could do. You were making rice, but your thoughts were somewhere else. So you didn't need solitude over there. You didn't need to withdraw yourself from that situation. You didn't need to withdraw from the office and go elsewhere. So that's why both these, are a little bit different. Solitude only is absolute isolation, a physical separation, a thing where I need to go. And I was just churning to see, can't silence alone do? Should I really think about solitude? Because if I have to think about solitude, I have to find a space for solitude. So we have to understand the meaning of both, where Baba is given over here in this Murli, silence versus solitude. And here, when Baba speaks about silence, it should be a silence. I remember one sentence you spoke when you made the rice: Baba, this rice should be eaten. So there was some connection you had with God, with the superpower. So that kind of silence, and you also had pure feelings. So that kind of silence, where it's connected because you're only an instrument, connected to God, connected to superpower, and you want to bring about some pure feelings through the power of love. I think that's what I took it today, and especially the need of the hour. How staying here itself, I needn't withdraw, but I can be in solitude and I can take care. But it's a very deep meaning, Deepika sister, silence and solitude. We should, even though Baba has casually touched it, one should go deeper into it to understand according to situations. Om Shanti.
Mm, so true. Anybody else would like to add on? I would like to share anything.
I think silence is still a continuum of having good thoughts. Solitude is an extension where we create such silence in singlehood, not amongst everybody, but while we are in the company of our own self. If we are connecting with Baba there, then it becomes a sweet silence.
Mm,
Mm. Uh,
Om Shanti. Uh, yeah, sometimes that I have experienced that. Okay, we are working on a mind level, this thought level. Suppose we have a pure thoughts, but at body level, so the feelings is associated with our body. So we are not getting the feelings, pure feelings. Thought is there, but feelings are sometimes we are not miss that feelings sometimes it's missing. That happens. So that I want to share.
mm,
Om Shanti. So the silence power, right, to experience somebody who is, this is really works for someone who's new to this knowledge and someone who has lot of practice coming in sound, and we know outsiders, right? Definitely, they are living in the outside world and not introduced to Baba's knowledge means then definitely they have the practice of sound. So someone with that experience would want to experience Baba, then silence is the first step that they can practice. So when they isolate them from the busy world or the sound world, and then can give them some time, right? Maybe one or two, or at least a couple of days to remain in silence. That's when they can really do some introspection. Uh, and that will make them understand the importance of silence. And when they understand the importance of silence, they will also experience silence. And that experience will give them the experience of solitude, where they experience the Baba. Otherwise, somebody who is so busy doing their daily work or not really exposed or give time for meditation or any sort of a silence practice in their life, right? For them, it becomes very, very difficult. But when somebody can start with this, right, then they can really experience silence. I feel it's the um, initially, if they can start with silence and gradually they can reach a stage where they experience solitude, where they have a constant connection with Baba. And somebody yesterday was listening to a senior brother who was talking about silence, and he was saying that he's in knowledge for the past 41 years, and he said he remained. I mean, in his old days, he used to sit in silence for 21 days at a stretch. It seems so. 21 days in silence, and of course, that brother is very powerful. But now, if you look at the current world, I doubt that somebody can afford to give 21 days, forget about 21 days, at least 7 days to sit in silence. So I think time is also, making the situation or not allowing people to observe these sort of silence experience, in the life. I think going forward, it'll even become more delicate. Yeah, Om Shanti. Thank you.
Deepika Behan, I just want you to throw a little light on this. I don't think just being silence, just absence of noise is going to really bring pure feelings in us. See, sometimes we are so fed up with the noise over here and there. We want to do something else, but we find too much of chatter, 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 noise, 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 or sound of the radio or TV. We just like to come out and all. So that silence, if we want to come out, that is not the silence over here, I think, which is going to bring about pure feelings. I remember, as I've often said, I've studied in a convent. So I used to remember when our nuns used to say, even Jesus, he used to take some time to be, he was the son. So to meet the Holy Father, to take some major decisions, he used to leave his room and he used to go out to get an insight, to get that power of discernment on his own. So there has to be meaningful silence. There has to be something for a purpose. Just if you make me sit in an empty room with no noise, with absolutely nothing, I think I'm going to get frightened. Silence should have a purpose, that I need to really take my mind, take my intellect, and prune it to something. So when we sit down, even in silence, or when we go into solitude, if you're not going to fix your purpose, or just one simple thing. If you're connected to God, if you're connected to some energy, then I think silence has got meaning. What do you think like that? Just going, like some people just observe Maun Kade. But throughout the day, they'll be having a paper and they'll write out instructions and all what's to be done. Only thing what the energy of the mouth has been saved. But it's a heavy task for the people around because they have to sit and read slips and notes and all. So do you think silence is that? Don't you think here what Baba is mentioning about something else? The silence and solitude, not in the sense of scriptures or devotees and all. What is your takeaway on this, Deepika sister?
Just as you mentioned that silence has to be like should have some purpose and should not be done or practiced just like that. And of course, here Baba is speaking about silence of the mind, right? Because he said about thoughts, then he also talked about pure feelings, pure desires for other people. So for all of this, the mind needs to be silent, right? Because throughout my day, at some part of my day, I am very chaotic, and the other part of the day, I sit and practice that mansa seva. मुझे सबको सकाश देनी है, मुझे ये करना. That is not going to happen. Because throughout my day, I was in a chaotic situation. My mind was uh, up and down, and that was in upheaval. I cannot sit and radiate pure vibes to the world outside if I myself am fluctuating. So, of course, here silence has a very deeper meaning, and Baba talks about the mind being silent. But for that, there has to be something like from the mouth, also, we need to keep quiet. Why? Because the number of times we are coming in communication with people, we sort of share some energy. Okay. And even while we don't speak at times, but that person or that soul is here somewhere near, वो energy exchange होता है. But Mon say what we try to do is conserve that pure energy which I am actually gaining, or which is actually helping me work on myself, or I am trying to accumulate into myself. तो मौन क्या करता है, बहुत ज्यादा एनर्जी फ्लो होने से स्टॉप करता है. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट मुख का मौन. And when I'm silent outside, when I'm not talking to people, then for some time, if I begin with this only, it will gradually help my mind also to stay quiet. Because, like I said, we exchange a lot of energy throughout the day with a lot of souls, right? And that also causes my energy to deplete, to drain out at times, if the other person is not really able to understand what I'm saying. Right. So first silence mukh ka और फिर मन का, and then as you rightly said that whatever how much ever time I'm giving to my silence, it should have a purpose. I can sit with some murli, I can reflect on that, I should write points for that. Otherwise, taking out time for self-reflection can do that way also. और if I'm practicing solitude, then उसको तो बोलते ही एकांत है ना, उसको हिंदी में एकांत बोलते. So it's less of meeting people, cutting off myself for that particular time, sitting with my own self with some purpose that I'm going to take up this practice for 1 hour, for 2 hours, and this is the way I'm planning out my silence. So, I mean, this is what I personally feel. But मुख का इसीलिए भी जरूरी है क्योंकि बहुत ज्यादा एनर्जी इट वेस्ट होता है व्यर्थ में भी, बिकॉज नॉट एवरी टाइम वी आर टॉकिंग इज हैज टू मेक सम सेंस. मतलब कई बार ये व्यर्थ भी होता है ना, सो इट्स नॉट ऑलवेज सेंस दैट वी आर टॉकिंग. तो पहले मुख का मौन, फिर दैट ग्रेजुअली supports मन का मौन, and then as you rightly said that yes, if I am sitting with some purpose for my silence, that I'll be doing this and this is the outcome that I actually want. So that really helps out, because I will share some of my like personal this thing. I had this thought initially that whatever days I'm going to maintain this silence, I had a set of murlis with me. So not really reading the entire murli, but I used to just read one paragraph, and that only helped me a lot. And I don't know what idea was it this, but gradually giving me a direction that how am I to change, where do I need to go inside. And then so I had this set of murlis with me during that time of silence. And of course, as I said, I was working, I was doing other stuff also. So, and of course the murli gives you a lot of points for experimenting while in your silence. So yes, Baba's not talking about those scriptures and everything else, but yes, this is मन का silence, and deeply संकल्पों को direction देने के लिए ये silence.
So you agree with me, your mind and intellect, you have to keep a little bit free, right?
Yes,
You have
yes.
you should not go and put it in. You see, this matters. See, you gave us an example when you were just saying somehow you're doing some other work, but somewhere you find and you just go into silence. You were saying, you were just reading it. Immediately, the next line came in the Murli, which connected to your thought. No matter how busy a soul, no matter how busy, comma, a soul who loves solitude is, he will find one or two moments in between to experience solitude. That was what was your experience. Whatever busy you were, you found some moments to experience solitude because deep down in your mind had some matters to be taken care, and it was looking, okay, hey, let me see when it's solitude, I have to touch that matter, and you found that matter and you do it. I think that's what I was talking about. We need to really this concentrate the power of mind and intellect for some time. That's why Baba is saying silence aware. But I only think two words: manmana bhava paramdham. Like if you're asking for an exercise, if I start with that and I go to then maybe I may be on the road to silence or the road to solitude. These two gifts which Baba has given us. Or when you go, or in the depth, going down, either going up to Paramdam or going below the ocean, below the ocean, below the knowledge and all. And they know, no, if you go and they say the storm, if you go right to the eye of the storm, there are no challenges. I think there are various ways of really meeting these kind of silence. Thank you.
Mm. So, adding on to the discussion which is going on, I hold a little different view. A is if we're talking about getting into silence with a purpose, then we are again holding on the lens of silence to show us what is meant to be seen. So, what typically works for me when it goes to observing silence or being in solitude is first surrendering to the moment, to the space that's getting created, and whatever light which comes in, maybe Shivaba's light, or I wouldn't know what it is. When it is surrender, it is surrendered. And then let that silence and solitude work by itself on you. Just tried a couple of methods. When we sit with purpose, with agenda, then again it is like your mind is only talking about that agenda and that purpose. Wherein the the entire idea of being in solitude and silence is to give yourself out of everything that is surrounding you. You yourself to that universe, you yourself to that higher energy, or you yourself to Baba, whatever name we call in, and then let that work on you. Is one method that has worked for me in many scenarios. Because, for example, if I sit that, okay, I want to reflect on what has happened, and this silence should allow me to get that reflection and allow me to have some choices made, then that's not a silence for me because my mind is only talking about the scenario. So that was one thought that was coming into me, that surrender, be in solitude and silence, and let that space work for the soul. And in the flow, in the process, I get to where I'm meant to get in. Om Shanti.
Wonderful, Rakhi Ben. Just to ask you a small kind of thing, what I meant was, you're very right. If I'm going to have an agenda and then I'm going to say in silence, where there is silence, you have already told the mind, hello, do this. It's not that. It should not be empty silence. You know what they do in meditation? They first say, okay, sit down, don't think. If you say don't think, the mind thinks that. Be free of thoughts, be free of this, your mind has no thoughts, absolutely silent. It's called as a gross nil meditation experience, which they generally teach in the beginning. Like, complete body is silent. But if you had some matters and you told the mind earlier, see, I really want to take some decisions on this, but I can't take now because I'm not able to decide. So, whenever you get an opportunity to, when you are on your own, I will help you in that, the soul tells the mind. So it's just a small contract between the soul and the mind and the intellect. Just to say, you're very right. If you have an agenda and then sit in silence, where there's going to be silence, it's fixed. It's just you have already had a contract with your mind and intellect, and you're telling the mind wants to take a decision. It can't. It's saying, see, too many thoughts you have, too many things. Can you go out and think for some time? So you tell the mind, okay, that'll be at that time. That time, snatch the opportunity and use it. It's just a contract between the soul and the mind. That's what I felt when I said there should be a kind of something which should happen, some power I should really get and make it a powerful silence. Om Shanti.
There has to be some aim, right? That is what Girija sister meant, I guess.
Yeah, I get that. So
Right.
each one, what practices work. Because sometimes I feel that too much of thoughts. And I remember once while I was in the mode of practice karna silence, and I was talking to the center sister, and I said, I really want that environment to be in silence. I don't have that environment. And I'm sure what she said was, silence doesn't need an environment. Silence creates its own environment. Silence is to be practiced when you are in chaos. If you're going to be practicing silence when there is silence, it's not going to be doing anything to you. It's very easy to be good with people who are good with you. But being good with people who are rude with you is an art. So somewhere these reflections were coming into me while we were talking about silence and solitude, that the real practice of all of this is when situations are challenging, when there is too much of chaos and noise around you, and then you are in the space of taking yourself away and being in silence. When I say taking yourself away, not physically, but your mind is not getting stuck to what's happening outside of it. Internally, you are stable and peaceful. So I agree with you what you're telling Girjaben, but as I mentioned, each to each one, and this is this is what I get for myself, that let me practice silence in the entire noise and chaotic space. And when I say that, also that's also an agenda. But in the later part of the practice, it has come this way that just be in the flow. Sometimes randomly, I may get into a space of silence. So yeah, these were few reflections while these discussions were going on.
Thank you. Anybody else would like to add on to anything
Yeah,
that
just a
was shared?
quick thing. Yeah. So the flow is yes. I think yes. It's all based on how one is turning and the practice that they're doing. Yes. But I also feel somewhere the another reflection. Okay, the silence is actually giving us that foundation. That space at the initial stage, right? Because silence is definitely your making your mind and intellect free, because that's what is actually bringing so many things, right, when you are in sound. So when you do that, only you get that space wherein you can create some good thoughts, right? So there you create pure thoughts through, maybe you read some Murli, or you start thinking about what you already read, because you can't do it unless you create that foundation, that space. So first is the silent stage there, right, where you make your mind and intellect free, right, set free. And then, and the third stage would be to, like Baba said, the subtle service, where you have good wishes for others, where you're giving. So that comes. So silence can be the knowledge stage, and the pure creating good and pure thoughts can be the stage of yoga. And then having good wishes and pure feeling for others can be the stage of service. So silence, first stage, second is creating pure thoughts, and then third stage can be creating good wishes for service. Yeah. Thank you.
Mm. Wonderfully shared. And also during this process, we receive those pure thoughts from Baba also. Once we start uh, getting into and start tuning ourselves to his frequency, it's ultimately his thoughts. And then what Baba says, na, कि वही संकल्प आएगा जो होने वाला होगा या जैसे करना हो, right? So very rightly shared, Vijay.
Yeah,
Anything
also I
else?
want to add one thing. Then, when we are constant companionship with Baba, so suppose one suppose job is to serve people and is surrounded by the people. So in his mind, the silence is of mind, not of people. There is so much of noise is going on, but in that conditions and with the companionship of Baba, we are delivering the good thoughts, good feelings, good pure feelings. So that is the aim. That is the aim. So this is the good feelings we radiating, good thoughts we are radiating. So that is a challenge. That is the silence. Not no noise, there's no noise of your intellect. Internally there is a no noise. Easy society is a silence. I just miss that experience of getting this download on my own Shanti.
Yes. Only the absence of uh, words is not silence, but the mind also needs to be quiet. Okay, so we will spend a minute in silence, reflecting on uh, how am I to plan my day with silence in it, and um, how will I uh, work on myself in silence. Right, so just spending 1 minute, and then we shall end the class. Thank you. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you to Baba. Thank you, Deepika Bhavan. Thank you, Divine Family. See you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Until then, have a beautiful day.